Hello, 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 everyone, and welcome to Pitch It, the luxury of the human voice in the age. I don't like that. Hello, 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 everyone, and welcome to Pitch It's session on. Hi, everyone, and welcome to Pitch It's session on the luxury of the human voice in the age of AI, unveiling innovation. Now, I want you all to take a quick second before we get started, because I want to set the foundation of what we're discussing here today. I want you to think for a second, when you call for assistance, you are in urgent need of assistance, you've ordered a product or a service, it's not working right, and all of a sudden you hear an automated operator speaking to you. Do you A, talk to the operator the whole way through and wait until you eventually get to the point of getting someone on the phone or let them answer the question? Or B, do you press 00000 as many times as it takes until you get to an actual human? I want you to take a moment and actually put that in the chat. A or B? A, you talk to the operator the whole way through, you wait patiently, or B, you don't even want to talk to this operator, you want to talk to a human. I'm asking this question because typically the responses I receive always go back to B. They are pressing 0001111, whatever they have to press, the pound key, to get to a human. Why is that? I know that we are living in an age of AI, and many of us are hearing about how all the technology is going to actually replace us as humans in our respective businesses and industries. But I'm actually here today to talk to you about how you can create a luxury experience that could never replace you. Doesn't matter what technology is out there, the experience of being able to work with you, to hear you, to speak with you will always keep customers coming back for more than any AI ever could. So we're going to talk literally about how you can use your voice to make an impact, whether it's closing a deal, captivating an audience, which typically you have to do in order to close a deal, or anything else. I myself am going to infuse various stories because I want you all to also understand storytelling and being able to use it, which AI cannot do. Your actual experiences will lead in any industry that you're in. So I want y'all to buckle up, prepare to interact, and let's talk about how you can still embrace AI but always preserve your style. Now, I know what you're thinking. Who is this woman with this big afro? My name is LaShondra Johnson, and I am your favorite coach, in particular, your favorite public speaking and branding coach. I have my master's in business administration. I've been seen in places like the Leadership Experience Tour. I've also been in publications like the Chicago Journal, Wall Street Times, New York Weekly, just to name a few. I am the creator of the Elevate Your Voice Masterclass, which is a platform for speakers to speak on. And I am also the creator of the Dynamic Speakers Collective coaching program, where I literally walk different business owners through how to not only own the stage by helping you create what you're going to say on the stage, but also branding, submitting for government contracts, having an actual CRM, automation, and so much more. And I've been coaching professionally since 2015. Now, I've been blessed to have created Pitch It, this company that I love dearly as my baby. We specialize in empowering individuals and teams with essential skills they need to master the art of persuasive communication. I want you to notice that I said the art, okay? Because being able to speak well is an actual art form that is necessary in sales. It is necessary in business. And to be completely honest with you, if you're going to embrace AI, but actually still succeed as a business owner, you have to be able to master properly communicating in a persuasive manner, because most of sales, you all, is emotions. AI cannot do emotions. They can't replicate that aspect of us. So that's what we're really going to focus on today. This means I help people with pitch competitions, overall presentations, general professional development, branding, including what words you're going to use on your marketing materials. That could be emotional trigger words and so on and so forth. That's what we do here at Pitch It. My business has been featured in publications from NBC to Fox News, ABC, and so on and so forth. But I want to ground us now in what we're going to discuss today. AI. Is it innovation or are worst fears coming to life? When I was a little girl, I don't know if you all have realized that Will Smith has been saving the world for quite some time. And one movie in particular that he saved the world in was I, Robot. Now, this movie scared me because I could not understand how these robots were taking over the world. And all we had to rely on was Will Smith. Now, if you've never seen the movie, in 2004, it was a sci-fi movie that came out, and Will Smith's character is Detective Dale Spooner. Now, he is skeptical of this AI world because all these robots are being brought into the homes. I don't know if y'all paying attention to what's going on right now, but they're being brought into the homes and they're helping with care. They're walking dogs, babysitting children, cooking food, you name it, they're doing it. Now, Will Smith's character, Detective Spooner, is the only one who does not trust them fully, okay? He believes that you can't replace humans with robots. How do they actually understand? How do they have human instinct and emotion and unpredictability? Now, here's the kicker of it all. Okay, the robots are there to protect humans. And in this film, what ends up happening is a robot is accused of killing a human. Now, this scares me because Detective Spooner, i.e. Will Smith, starts to go around and around trying to figure out, did this robot actually do it? What's going on? And how can we as humans survive with these robots in our lives? I want to bring us to 2025, you all. We are in a very similar position. While we do actually see real robots being created that are meant to help us, whether it literally be things like ChatGPT or these new cars that will drive themselves, we see it. But how, as business owners, how, as individuals who do public speaking, can we avoid AI killing us, harming us and our businesses, and ultimately our revenue and our impact? Are we at risk now of letting AI take over the stage? I'm in a position where I go to different competitions and conferences, and it has become very obvious when speakers have used AI to write their whole speech, they have zero personality. As a matter of fact, they haven't even looked over the speech because they're stuttering over the words. Are we at risk of AI taking over the stage, taking over our speaking ability? And ultimately, at this point, we even have AI that can imitate people who have passed on, their voices, and make songs, different artists' songs. What's happening to our voice? How do we keep it? How do we actually make sure that AI doesn't take over? A lot of people are, of course, skeptical and even fearful, just like Will Smith's character, on AI's growing presence in communication. We have ChatGPT that can draft speeches in seconds. We have AI-generated voices that can deliver entire presentations, audience analysis software that can track engagement down to the second. So does this mean that we as business owners who have to speak on a regular basis to our customers, whether you're on stage or in your actual local shop, does this mean that we are at risk of becoming obsolete? I'm here to tell you that no, we're not. The opposite is actually what's going to happen. So let's talk about, why does any of this actually matter? I need you all to understand where we currently are, and that if you don't master creating a luxury human experience, your business is at risk. AI is revolutionizing how we communicate, but our distinct human voice remains irreplaceable. 92% of audiences value authenticity in communication over actual automation. People still want to be moved emotionally. When we speak, our job in any scenario is to engage people, educate them, and entertain them. Now, while AI can do a lot of things, they cannot seamlessly do those things on the spot with an actual human 100%. It's in the works, you all, but no one can replace you, okay? Now, I'll give you an example with myself. I landed my first $10,000 contract, corporate contract repetitively, maybe 2 years ago. And when I say 10,000, I mean $10,000 per workshop. When I applied, it was a government bid. When I applied for this bid, and I realized, because it is public, that other people did an amazing job with their actual visual proposals that I had not. They had used AI, I had not. They had full big teams. I did not have a team at that point. I thought, surely I have not made it. I'm not getting the contract. It's over. It's over. They're going to choose someone else. What ends up happening is they said, okay, great. We've looked over proposals. We're going to offer you the opportunity to come in and actually present to us, because the contract dealt with being able to present to students. And I said, oh, I'm in business. I'm in business. I knew that just by the capabilities I have with public speaking, that if I got into that room, I don't care what AI they used to create their proposal, they were not going to do better than me when I actually presented, because I had to present. I could have a screen in front of me reading that does not actually help me when it comes to being able to present and have personality and pizzazz and keep people's attention. When I went to that meeting, they told me that I was the best presenter. They said it was across the board a yes from every single person for me and my company to be the leader in this particular area, that they were now paying $10,000 per workshop. That means that for every workshop I did, for every single workshop that I did, 2 hours at most, $10,000. And I'm still under contract. I want you all to understand that that was the first government bid, but it showed me that my voice, my words, my mannerisms, my ability to smile, to engage, educate, and entertain was bigger than any AI that a company could use to create something, because they could not create the interactions and the experience on the spot that I did in that moment. And you have to have the same understanding and belief. My authenticity allows me to connect with people. I'm authentically myself, and I infuse that into my brand. People love it and people want to pay me for it. That's me creating a luxury experience where they want to bring me in for more. Every single time I present one place, I always leave with at least 2 to 3 people who not only want to have a consultation with me, but want to bring me in to do more workshops somewhere else, because they liked the way I worked with the audience. That is what you have to create. Now, we know that AI, of course, has risen immensely over the past couple of years. I want you all just put in the chat a 1 if you've used ChatGPT for work or even personal projects. Put a 1 in the chat if you use ChatGPT for work or personal projects. Of course, I see 1s. I myself will put a 1. I have used ChatGPT. The issue is never the software. You have to work the software. You can't let the software work you. Okay, so let's take a deeper look at how AI can actually help your business. Now, here's how AI can help you. As a public speaker myself, I have a process that I like to use, and AI has helped me tremendously with my process. I will draft out my speech first. It's very important that I draft out my speech, so I get my tone, my general ideas down, all of those things. You can use ChatGPT if you struggle with this beforehand to create an outline, say, okay, here's the topic, give me an outline of maybe things I should say, but it's super important that you do not let ChatGPT write the whole thing for you. You still need to draft out ideally what you want to say. Now, from there, once I've created my first draft, I start to look it over, and there might be certain areas that I feel are wordy. There are certain areas where I feel like my word choice could be stronger. I will then take it, I'll even put it in ChatGPT and say, what word choice can I use that would make this stronger to get my point across? Or I'll even ask ChatGPT, what does my tone say here? Because I want to make sure that what I'm getting across or what I want as far as an impact is going to come across clearly. So you can use tools like ChatGPT to help you. Notice I didn't say that ChatGPT just writes all my speeches. I go up, deliver it as is. Absolutely not. It helps me. Okay, so that's an example of how you can use it. You also have voice modulation and transcription software. We've seen it. You go into a Zoom meeting or even a Teams meeting, you'll see something that says someone is transcribing the meeting. That's beautiful because instead of me having to take notes, now I have software that takes notes so I can look it over and it gives me one less thing to worry about business-wise. Once again, being an asset to me. They're in the meeting, not because of my technology. The technology is helping me so that I can run my business smoother. We also have audience analysis and feedback tools. These can be different things when it comes to actually analyzing an audience that you're speaking in front of, and helping you gauge how you need to go forward in the future. So just keeping those things in mind, it may not help you directly in the moment. All right, but it can help you as you look over what you've done. Okay. Now, when I work with my clients in my coaching program or in my one-on-one sessions, I still use AI to help me. We get together, and the first thing I do is I give a speed fire rapid round of questions that we do where I'm asking them, what is it that you want to get across? What is your story? All these questions that I'm asking, and I have to get it from them as the human. It's so important that I understand them, their business, where they want to go, their story. AI cannot tell me that. Now, together, we start to draft what it is that they want to stay, and I give them a structural flow. I always tell them that the first draft, I need them to go in and get the gist of what they want. I've helped them with the outline already. Then from there, if there's anything that I feel is too wordy, same process, I'll take it right in front of them. We put it in ChatGPT, see if there's a way that we can make it more concise. You know, some of these places it's like, okay, you only have 5 minutes to speak, but you gave me a 10-minute speech. We have to break this down. So certain things I can say we're not going to use that. Other things is like we need to make it more concise. We need to use ChatGPT to help. Or, hey, there could be stronger word choice here. Let's see if we can think of anything. Even when I help clients come up with brand statements for themselves, I take in the information that they have. I start to draft ideally what I think their brand statement should sound like based off of the tone that they want their business to have. And then I'll also put it in ChatGPT to see if they come up with something better. Now, I'll be honest with you, just because I'm using AI does not mean I like what AI gives me. AI has given me things before that I thought was trash. This is why I say you can't just take what AI gives you and think it's going to relate to people automatically. You know your consumers best. You know your clients best. So keep those things in mind. Remember, AI does have a role to help you, but it does not take over or take away from what you do. Now, in iRobot, Spooner, of course, sees the limits of AI. He sees it firsthand. Robots will follow rules. They are very calculated. They lack human intuition, emotion. They're not a very adaptable group of people, which is why this murder that comes up was actually like completely crazy, right? Like, how did a robot decide to do this? Most people could not actually believe that a robot would do it because of how they're programmed. But as you watch the movie, you end up realizing that there was a specific robot that the creator programmed a little bit differently, and ultimately was asked to do this, right? Now, public speaking is no different because the very things that make us as humans in general, our ability to adapt, to have emotions, emotionally connect, intuition, public speaking requires those things. AI can write your whole speech if you wanted to, but it can't feel the weight of a story that you yourself have lived. It's not going to tell you when to pause, to have a moment to allow people to process what you're saying, but also so that they hear and understand it. There are several ways as a speaker to ensure that people remember what it is that you're talking about. One, you can repeat it multiple times. Notice I've said engage, educate, and entertain multiple times. The second thing that you can also do is you give a moment of pause after you've said it. When people sense a pause, it makes them say, oh, that was important. When you're saying something that's important, you have to give moments of pause. The other thing is that your tone has to stress certain words, your facial expressions. AI cannot give any of those things, especially when you're weaving in a personal story that's impacted you or people that you worked with, whether it be a funny story or anything like that. We cannot use AI as a crutch. It is a tool. Okay. Now, even Spooner, as he's learning and doing his detective work in iRobot, starts to realize that robots can be useful. So even though he's fearful of them at first, which many of us as humans are fearful of using too much technology, he realizes that there are certain uses for them, and he actually starts to partner with the robot to help solve the murder. Okay. So how then do we actually start to apply these things? How do we make sure that our human voice is always superior to the AI experience and start to really create, okay, the luxury of it all? Okay. One, you want to use AI to just draft, okay, outlines, to time our speeches, to analyze feedback that might be given to you. If you have a bunch of feedback from a spreadsheet and you put it in ChatGPT and say, what is the main feedback I've been given? They will literally pull out the common themes for you. It saves you time. You want to use that, okay? But you also have to understand that there is an emotional depth and authenticity and adaptability of the human voice that you have to harness as a speaker. No one likes a boring person. No one likes a boring presentation. And yet, some entrepreneurs and business owners themselves are boring. I got to call a spade a spade. This is how Pitch It came to be. Okay, I went to a presentation and I realized, oh my gosh, that was such a great idea, but ooh, they were so boring. Okay, put a 2 in the chat. If you can remember right now, a person, whether it be a teacher, a friend, a colleague, an old boss, just put a 2 in the chat. If you ever sat somewhere and thought, oh my goodness, this person is so boring. I wish they weren't the ones presenting. I see a bunch of people putting 2s. This is why you have to harness in on what sets us apart. AI can stimulate tone, but it lacks that true emotional depth. When I work with clients in the Dynamic Speakers Collective or in my one-on-one sessions, we focus and harness in on tone. Okay, what is the tone of this message? It should match the tone of your brand. But more than anything, what tone? You're taking people on a journey every time you speak to them. If I want you to feel excited, I can sound excited. If I want you to understand the seriousness of what I'm saying, then I put my tone in a certain manner. My mannerisms change. So the emotion aspect, you are always, and that's part of the entertainment. Entertaining is not that you're dancing, for them, unless you want to. The entertainment aspect is that you make people feel something. You make people feel something. And that it also should be authentic to you. People can tell when you are uncomfortable with what you're doing or what you're saying. And when people can tell that you're not comfortable, they don't want to work with you. People want to like you as well as feel that you're credible enough to actually do the job. And then adaptability. You can respond to real-time audience energy, whether it's a pitch competition, a sales presentation, or you just at a networking event. You can tell if someone's distracted. You can see it. It'll stop you. You can hear what they're saying, respond to it adequately, figure out a way to infuse that in what you're saying to them, build real connections. AI cannot do that off the top. So Let's talk more about actually using AI as a partner and not a replacement. One, automate any repetitive task. Note taking, for instance, there's AI for that. Booking meetings with you, there's AI for that. Editing things that you have said, there's AI for that. Just keep in mind that you control the AI, which means that you still need to look over what work they're doing. AI should enhance, not overshadow your actual style. Okay. Now you can use AI once again to draft a speech outline, but then you need to infuse your own voice and in your own anecdotes. Those moments of relatability is part of the luxury of a human experience. I remember a time calling the IRS on behalf of my grandmother, and I was so frustrated because I felt like I couldn't get anything done for her. And I remember one person I spoke to in general, when she shared her own, like, yeah, it's frustrating, I understand, and she gave me an antidote, it calmed me down. I never stay on calls afterward to give a review for anything, but if they would have asked for a review that day, I would have given one just to talk about how pleasant she was, how understanding she was. Giving me her personal story made me feel like I was listened to, that I was heard. Now I feel like, yes, I know you can do what you say you're going to do. It makes me feel like you're more credible. You have to understand that when we're talking about creating a luxury human experience, the luxury is in the fact that they can reach you. The luxury is in the fact that they feel you understand them. The luxury is in the fact that they know that you actually will solve their problem. You solve their problem. You care about them. Where we're going now, so many businesses, especially larger businesses, are using so much AI that it can lead to more frustration. I've canceled memberships to certain programs because they only had AI to talk to. In the chat, the email, everything. There was no phone number. I don't want to work with you. You've lost my business because you don't have a human that I can actually relate to. So just keep those things in mind. Now, the next strategy is that you have to embrace your unique style. There's only one LaShandra, baby. It's only one me. And when I work with my clients, I work very hard to ensure that I'm embracing their style, theirs. So I may write things or I may give suggestions, and then I say, I want you to tweak it. Use word choice that fits you. Use a story that works for you. I'm giving you examples. When we're looking at their content, use content that works for your specific audience. I'm only giving suggestions. I will critique what you give, and I will talk about better word choice that might be able to help. We're in partnership with each other. Why is that? Because we have to understand, okay, how necessary it is for you to be yourself, because people want you. If everybody is using ChatGPT and honestly asking ChatGPT the same questions, what's going to be the biggest difference? I've done a training before with students who were going on interviews, tech students. And when I spoke with them, I said, you and Sarah Lane have the exact same resume. I went to the same school, type of schools, had the same accreditations, everything. What's going to be the one thing that stands out when you get into that interview room? You. Do they like you? Do they feel like you'd be a good fit? Are you able to actually communicate? Do you have soft skills? Soft skills are becoming so obsolete. Employers are complaining. There are reports of employers actually complaining, saying college graduates are not coming in equipped for the soft skills aspect of the job, to network. So you have to think about all of those aspects when we're talking about embracing your unique style. So one, you need to identify your storytelling tone. And I didn't tell you all to take notes, but make sure y'all taking notes, okay? You need to identify your storytelling tone. In general, when you're talking to people, what is the energy? When people leave you, how should they feel? Should they feel happy? Should they feel inspired? How do you want people to feel? However you want people to feel, you have to embody. You can't say, I want people to feel confident, but you seem scared. You can't say you want people to feel bold, but you come off as shy and meek. It does not work that way. People feed off of your energy. Therefore, whatever it is you want people to feel, you have to fully embrace it and embody. You are that person, okay? So you have to think about your storytelling tone, but your tone in general. You want to keep personal anecdotes central to anything you're doing. Notice that the main story I keep talking about goes back to iRobot and what Will Smith was going through, but also how that caused fear in me. But I'm also still infusing personal anecdotes of my own. AI cannot replicate LaShandra's life. Now, you might be able to use AI to Google more about some of the things I put out there about my life, but it's never me. Okay. And lastly, create the treasure trove of your human experience. I like to call it the Pitch It Toolkit, things that you can always pull out that will be so unique to you, your business, and your brand. Everywhere you use it, the more you use it, the more comfortable you get. Most people say, LaShandra, I hear everything you're saying, but I'm so scared. There's no way to get over your fear, I want you to hear me good, except for you to go out and do what scares you more often. All right. There's no way to get over that. AI can't even do that. All right. So just keep those things in mind. Strategy number 3, you want to use AI to address shortcomings. So we talked about before, this is how you infuse yourself and AI as a tool to help you. AI should be able to address your shortcomings. We know that a lot of businesses might be just very small, and it's okay because there's so much AI that exists that can help you these days that even if you're a small business, you should still be highly functional. You don't have to post all your stuff anymore. You can literally put it onto a program and let AI post it at a certain time, as long as you structure it appropriately. You create luxury in your solutions, okay? If there's a shortcoming that your business is having and you've used AI and you've seen in feedback that they're saying, hey, LaShandra, I really wish that you had a handout for us, like so we can really embody all of these different things that you talked to us about. Guess what? Now, I not only do I have that feedback, but I might say, AI, what would be a good outline for me to structure this around? And I take it and I adjust it and I add my own feel to it and I make sure it matches my branding. Those are the things that you do so that now I'm creating things that are human-centered. If you want a handout, then baby, a handout is what I will create. All right. You go in and tailor a customized curriculum based on needs and goals that have been identified. That, once again, is the luxury of the human experience. AI can create certain things, but you tailor it. So AI might create something general, but guess what? When Felicia comes to me, I'm able to see this and tailor it to Felicia on the spot. When John comes to me, I can do the same thing for him. That way, everyone feels as if I am uniquely working with them and for them, because I am, but off of a standard solution I've created for their problem in my business. You have to make people feel good being with your brand. You have to embody it, and AI does not have to replace you. Strategy 4, you need to adjust and practice. What does this mean? Okay. 1, you need to be ready to be adaptable, you all. Okay. Just because you created a solution 6 months ago doesn't mean you still should be watching and seeing if is it giving you the results you want? Is there still friction? Let me adjust. If I'm speaking in front of an audience, how can I adjust to them and their energy in this networking room? Mastery is going to grow through practice. There's no shortcuts around that. Now, AI simulations can also be used to immerse oneself in real world speaking scenarios, or you come over to the Dynamic Speakers Collective, where I literally put you in real world scenarios where we work together in one-on-one and group situations with real world scenarios based off of the outcomes that you want. Okay. I want you all to think about the most memorable presentation or speech you've ever heard. Put in the chat for me really quick. One word, okay? One word. Okay, 2 words. What made that presentation or that speech stand out? What made it stand out? What made it so amazing? In most scenarios, when I ask this question, people will say it felt relatable, that they used personal stories, that they felt connected, right? And these, of course, are speeches and presentations that we remember for the right reason, not a presentation or speech that stands out because somebody embarrassed themselves. All right. We know why those stand out, but the ones that we remember for the right reasons, why? Your job is that every time a business interacts with you, you stand out for that reason. That is your responsibility. So here are some practical tips for integrating AI, okay? One, you want to use it to elevate your speaking. We already know that. We want to be careful, however, with the AI, you all, because as great as AI is, you have to double check. I'm going to keep stressing that. You have to double check anything AI does. Uh, Everyone here, I'm not going to even make y'all put anything in the chat, but everybody here has either done this or knows someone who has sent something inappropriate, whether it was through text or email, to somebody who was not supposed to receive it. I remember back in the day when screenshotting or copying text first became really popular with text messages, and this is human error, right? And you would screenshot the message trying to send it to one person, but you send it to the person you're talking about. I've had people do that to me. I've done it back in high school. Now we're in a place where if you become overly reliant on AI might say something. Even autocorrect sometimes sends out the wrong word to the wrong person. I've seen it. All right. This is why you have to understand that you are to leverage AI, but you have to be very careful. So one, always time yourselves. This is just another example. You want to make sure it assists you, but that any impact you have is yours. You cannot use AI to cheat confidence in your business and your strategy. So if you going through all of these different videos or even my, presentation, and you still feel like, oh, this sounds good, but even with AI, I still have all these questions, that is something that has to be worked on that AI can't do for you. AI can't close a sale for you. AI can't make people like you. AI can't make people trust you. AI can't be the face of your company. And as much as AI can do a lot, it cannot replace you. Okay. So do not fear AI. Your job is to own it and ensure that you are stepping up, that you own your distinctiveness, and that you're using AI wisely. By the end of iRobot, Spooner doesn't just see the robots as an enemy anymore. He sees balance. The robots, AI, they have their place, but humanity in itself is irreplaceable, because even throughout this whole movie, and I didn't realize this until I became an adult. I watched this as a kid and I thought, it's over. It's over. Once the robots come here, it's done. We're going to create robots. It's over. But re-looking at this movie as an adult, you realize that Spooner needed the robots to solve this case as much as the robots needed Spooner, and as much as the humans needed this human to work with the robots. Both were needed in order to solve this case. And the same is true for you in public speaking. AI can assist you. AI can enhance your preparation. AI can analyze data, but it can't replace the way you tell a story, the way your energy fills the room, or the way your authenticity builds trust with people. In an age where AI is everywhere, your ability to be undeniably human is your superpower. Even your flaws make you distinct and unique. So the next time you're preparing a speech, a presentation, a pitch, a sales, or preparing to even go into networking, ask yourself this: am I creating balance with AI? Am I creating a luxury human touch experience that feels customizable, that when people meet me, that they love not only my business and my brand, but they love the idea of me being the person to solve their problems. Because the business can be great, but if people do not feel that you are trustworthy or that you know your stuff because you're not confident or feel as if you might be a little bit dry, and might not know your business, so you might lose sales because of that. When you master being able to speak, when you master having a great human touch and authenticity and confidence, in addition to mastering using AI, sales and revenue generate. Okay. Are you allowing your uniqueness to shine, or are you diluting it for a perfect script? Perfection does not exist. If you're using AI to be perfect, it's not going to work. Are you leading with confidence? Or are you letting fear dictate how you show up? Because in the end, just like in iRobot, machines may be efficient, but it's humans who inspire. So I want you all to go own your voice, because in an automated world, your authentic voice is the ultimate differentiator. I thank you all so much for watching this presentation today. Now, if you liked what you saw and you want to know more, learn more, I've included a few things here. One, you have my website, pitchit365.com. You also have my email, my Facebook, and my Instagram here. The Instagram in particular is a great place to go to book a consultation if any of these links don't work. But take out your phone really quick. This is where using technology has its benefits. Scan the QR codes, follow me on LinkedIn, book actual time with me, and let's discuss your brand and your voice and how we can create a luxury human experience, all right, and get you on stages. And then lastly, a freebie, a storytelling kit. Recently, I did an event, the Elevate Your Voice Masterclass, and this event was all about the impact of storytelling and being able to generate revenue through your story and infusing stories into any scenario, from networking to pitch presentations. This kit will walk you through questions you need to be able to answer in order to start to actually create the best story for the best impact. I want you all to go ahead, download all 3 of these QR codes, or meet me on Instagram. Link is in the bio there as well to book time with me. And I can't wait to see you all elevate your public speaking. See you soon.